Hello and welcome to another walkthrough by Commander Rodman from Rodman Gaming, or something like that. In our previous walkthrough you went over spelunking, and this is going to be dealing with what you do when you're finished. So we're going to be relocating to another place, probably somewhere high up with a lookout tower. Now I mentioned before that we were probably going to want to use a different icon for our beacon thing that we had set up here. So we don't want to just use the same old dirt sort of pole up here, because we'll be using it to get our way around. So we're going to use a wooden pole, and I recommend having about 20 wood, so around 80 planks, in order to do this. So we're going to get ourselves up nice and high so that we can see over the tree line, and potentially over mountains if they get in our way. Going to get nice and high. Okay, so when we get to the top, of course we want a torch here, and when you go to the side, you can hold shift, so your guy drops and you don't fall off when you do this. And we will put a plank down. Let go shift, and he drops down. Okay, so we're going to put it out 2 squares. Then we're going to go to the next thing under, and you're going to need to put one here so that you can drop. There we go. And then put this one out too. So we're basically just going to go around this whole structure doing that. And on the first 4 of these, you're going to put a torch. So I am not going to go through me doing all of this, but I will come back in just a moment when it is finished, and you can see what the product looks like. Okay, and we're back, and this is what the totem pole looks like that we just made, and I'll go up top so you can see it. And again, it's not really important how tall it is, just as long as it's over the tree lines, because the new location we're going to make is going to be much higher than the one that we started at. Now, if you've already started on a mountaintop, then you don't need to do that. But this is our first step in relocating, and again, I'll be right back with our next. Our second step in relocating is acquiring materials, namely a bed. So what I've got here in my hand are shears. You make those with iron. I'll show you how as soon as we get this guy trimmed. If you kill him with your sword, which you can do, he'll only drop 1 piece of wool. If you do it with shears, he drops 2 to 4. So you right-click on the sheep. Oh, there's his wool. So we gather up our wool, and we are now prepared to make our bed. So I'm gonna fast forward through the walking part, and we'll be right back. Back at the crafting station with our wool handy, we'll go over how to make a bed. So you need 3 wool up top like that. Doesn't matter what color it is. In fact, you can interchange the colors, and it'll work just fine. So there's our bed. I've already made one, but wool doesn't have really any other uses, so we'll pull out another bed. And shears are made with 2 pieces of iron. Just set them up like this. You can actually do it without the crafting table. But again, I've already got shears, and I don't need another one. Now you can use that bed during the night time to sleep, and it will quickly turn night into day. So let's do that. Yay, it is now day. It also helps you change locations by changing your respawn location, which is why we need a bed before we go. So let's talk about the materials that you're going to need on the way there. First, you will need torches. You'll need some cobblestone for building purposes. You'll need some wood. Wooden planks are fine. You don't really need iron. You will require some ladders. You require some mushrooms, and probably require some dirt. Now, the mushrooms and the ladders are optional, as well as the bone meal, which I'll be going over shortly. Now this is a unique way of traveling, which is very helpful if you're mapping out the world, setting up mushroom houses and sleeping inside of them. But you don't necessarily need to do that for travel of this nature. But I'll go over the option of doing it anyways. Silly me. I kind of forgot to go over how to make ladders. So let's do that now. So what you need are sticks. You need quite a few of them. I think you need 8 sticks to make one piece of ladder. So you go like this. Kind of looks like a ladder. 7 sticks. And you make 2 ladders with that. So, you know, we've already got plenty of them. And you may need to chop up some wood in order to get enough to do that, but that serves our purposes. So the question that you might be asking is, where do we want to go and what is it that we're looking for? So we are looking for a livestock location, somewhere that spawns, you know, cows and chickens, particularly chickens because they help us make arrows. We're also looking for a location with water, and a location that includes some massive cave network so that we can get into our next level spelunking. So up here, see that I can see some mushrooms. That's what those red things are. And just to make sure that you can see that far, you need to go into your options here, your video settings. Make sure that your render distance is far. I usually keep it short for performance. But just make sure that it's far when you're scouting out a location. So yeah, now we've got to wait for it to load again. Now over here, this didn't require any scouting whatsoever because there is a massive mountain range. You can see it's forming right now. That was the first location I ran over to and checked. And the other locations are just sort of random areas that I decided to run to, you know, other directions, east and west, or whatever, where they're facing. So we're going to run over to our mushroom, and we'll see what it looks like, and then I will show you how to make it. So you can see we're here at our little mushroom house. It's got a ladder, and you can climb up just by pressing forward. And you hop onto the plank flooring that I've set down, and just note that there's enough space covered so that spiders can't get in because they can climb, but they are 2 squares wide. Now other creatures cannot enter because they can't use ladders, so you'll be safe up there. Now a thing to note about these mushroom houses is that they need to be unobstructed by other objects. So for example, put it down here, those leaves are going to obstruct it. So I try to, oh, what am I doing? So I want the bone meal. Okay, so you pull out the bone meal after you've put down your mushroom, and you right click the mushroom. And you see that nothing is happening. So what you need to do is put it into a nice open area. So this seems good. So let's plop it right down here. It doesn't need to be near water. Does kind of need to be in grass. Okay, so here is an interesting mushroom. You're probably not going to need a ladder for this. You will still need the planks because the floor is more than 2 spaces wide. So spiders can crawl in and they'll make a mess of you. So you just put plank up there and you hop up. And again, you want to make sure that there is not more than 1 space. So that should do it. So there we go. So we're safe from spider attacks. And then we just pull out our bed, plop it down, and go to sleep for the night. And when you're done, you just hit your bed, and it comes back up for you. So, you can also use these as sort of waypoints. So you'll see that I have, you can see a mushroom way back there. Okay. See the sort of red thing. And I believe there's another mushroom over there. So you just put them in locations where you're sure you can see them, and you can follow your path back. Now if you're in need of mushrooms, you can just hit the mushroom tree and it will break. Now there's a chance that you'll get 0, there's a chance that you'll get 2. Just break the whole mushroom down and you should be set for your next little adventure. So we'll take a look at using the second method of navigating your way through these biomes, I guess they're called, and we'll be right back. We're standing here by one of the beacons that I went over how to make in our spelunking walkthrough. And I think what I'll do now is I'll talk about how to use it, because I didn't really go over, what its purpose was. Now you can see it if you're, in an open area, but the real reason you want to do it is if you're in a forest where your vision is obstructed by a lot of trees and, and other various things that get in your way. Now you could use the method of setting down planks, but you might run into problems of, finding a lake or something where you can't put things down, or, just mountainsides, other problems. So you want to use these beacons. But in order to find them, you can't necessarily just look straight at them. So we know that it's over there somewhere, but we can't see it. So what you want to do, and this is the reason that we're carrying dirt, you pull out your dirt and you jump up. And you place this sort of makeshift stand for yourself. Once you get above the tree line, you can see that your beacon is there. Now you can see that I've placed another beacon over that way, which is the direction that I should be heading. So if you put out too many beacons, what will happen is you might find one this way and one that way, but there isn't a clear indication of where my base is, of where I want to go to spend the night. So if you go out too far, you'll get lost, which means you should only go about 3 of these beacons out. 2 is probably the safest. You'll always head in the right direction with 2. And yeah, so that's what you want to do. It's an easy way to find your way around. Just remember to put these little things up. And in a pinch, if you cannot find your way, just stay up there. Just rest up there for the entire night, and you'll be fine. So I accidentally skipped over ladders while I was doing the mushroom thing, so I'll show it to you now. You just right-click on any vertical object, and you set down the ladders, and you just run up the ladder, and there it goes. And you just hit it normally, and it breaks off, and you get your ladder back. Now, you used to be able to set them out 2 squares away, but it doesn't work anymore. You can't do that. You can probably just put it one up and jump. Yeah, that works too. So there we go. I'll look at the location that I chose now. Our third location is up here on the sandbar, in this little desert like area. Now the reason that I chose this is because there is a livestock spawn around here. Yeah, silly cows. There's water around. There was a chicken spawn somewhere. It's unfortunate that there aren't more of them in this area. But the real reason that I chose this is because of the cave networks. So we're gonna go take a look inside here. Looks like that could be pretty extensive. There is another cave, I believe, down here. That also looks very promising. And there's that chicken. And there was another cave system in the forest. So I've decided that this gives us our best chances of doing our spelunking in this particular area. And this flat top makes for very good viewing distance. Now there is a forest behind here, so there is plenty of wood for me to chop down if I need it. But again, the viewing distance is important, and we can even see my giant beacon way over there. And we are going to be constructing a watchtower in this particular spot. So it's not wise to build on sand, so we'll be putting dirt down. So let's put our first house up. This is going to be our house we're going to stay in. So I'm just going to make a tiny little house. I need to do it fast before it gets dark. Okay, so then we've got our dirt, which is good for us, and we'll do a cobble house, because I like cobble. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward to the house building. Well, this is our little house here. It's pretty cramped, and I will be expanding it shortly, but, whoa, Jesus. scary. So yeah, so we'll be expanding this shortly, and this is just what I needed for sleeping for the night. So let's go ahead and do that, and guess we'll look at making a watchtower for our next walkthrough. Thanks for watching.